It's only been about a week since our last influencer boxing match, and we already have the next big main event.
Aye, nice chain, red bone mains, chain swing, like pretty.
What's good, guys? The next big influencer boxing match was just announced, and as you expect, it's Austin Mcbroom versus KSI. Now, this isn't set in stone just as of yet, but they both seem pretty set that they want this fight to happen. Austin Mcbroom has been calling out KSI, and KSI finally responds with this post on his Instagram. Immediately after that, Austin Mcbroom responds with this right here. Now that we know who's going to be in the next big fight, we're going to look over the two previous fights so I could give you guys an honest opinion as to who I think is going to win. I'm not going to be dick riding KSI or dick riding Austin Mcbroom. I'm just going to be straight up with you guys and who I think has better form, who I think is going to win this fight if it does go down. Now, one big point that I want you guys to realize is that Austin Mcbroom just came off of a fight, meaning that he just got done with 3 months of training, whereas KSI has been out for almost 2 years now at this point. His last fight was in 2019 of November, and I'm expecting this fight not to happen for at least another 3 to 4 months, which basically means KSI is going to have gone 2 years without fighting. And as you guys can see from this video right here, Austin Mcbroom is already training right now. So I do want to get that out of the way just so you guys could also get a feel for who is at an advantage from the very start. I already kind of have a feeling for who I think is going to win this fight, but I'm going to watch over their past 2 previous fights just to make sure that what I think is correct. But go ahead and comment down below who you guys would think is going to win between these two guys right here. First, we're going to go over KSI versus Logan Paul, their second fight.
Logan Paul, draw. Logan Paul started fast, ended slow as KSI lands a right hand.
KSI come right inside. There it is again. The overhands, he keeps shooting that overhand. He's going to keep doing it if his hands are down. Big left.
To start it off, the first thing that kind of worries me about KSI is the fact that he keeps his arms down a lot throughout this fight. There is plenty of times where he does keep his hands up as well, but right there you can see him. He got clocked pretty good by Logan Paul because he continues to put his arms down. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the first hit that he did give Logan Paul right there though, there was some power behind it, and I do feel like that could be pretty bad. Now, that could be bad for Austin Mcbroom because he hasn't had to fight a fighter who's actually had power behind their punches. Bryce Hall didn't really have too much power behind his punches. They were all kind of slap punches, so he hasn't had to really deal with that just of yet.
Jab. Nice jab. Got caught with the right hand. Ducks out of the way of that one. KSI looking like a tough man now, throwing haymakers.
And that's the fight he wants. He wants it in the inside. He wants.
That was just horrible. Round 2 highlights was literally just KSI getting clocked by Logan Paul and then just throwing a bunch of like haymakers and missing every single one. Obviously, that's not going to be good for him when he's fighting Austin Mcbroom, because I think Austin Mcbroom, from what I remember in the last fight, he was dodging those punches pretty well from Bryce Hall.
The last 2 rounds are going to be hellacious for him because he won't have much gas. Was that a knockdown? No, says Jack Reese.
Now, I'm not going to completely try ripping KSI. Right there, it does seem like he has some pretty quick reflexes and that he's a pretty quick fighter as well. Now, it does seem like it was behind the head, but you can't deny that this man seems pretty fast.
He needs a hold.
He wants it.
Gloves up, even if they're only 10 ounces. A fight at this pace is very difficult to keep your hands ahead in that round to take the fight.
Nice jabs there for Paul. Under a minute.
Let's not forget that the reason this fight, I think, is still happening is because both of these guys are well conditioned. You can't fight at this pace for this long. Even
nice
big uppercut!
Big uppercut for Logan Paul. KSI stumbling and bumbling to his corner. He's complaining.
Nah, that just doesn't even look good at all. KSI doesn't really have too much form behind there. He's just kind of throwing them and hoping they land, and then immediately gets caught by a jab from Logan Paul again.
In the 5th. Good body shot there from KSI. Haven't seen a ton of those. Couple of clubbing blows from KSI, who seems to have found his second win here.
That was just horrible. That was absolutely horrible. No form, completely just chasing him, throwing him like he was doing a hook shot in basketball. Pretty bad from him. I do like that he is working the body, however. I think he needs to throw those a little bit more in this fight because Logan Paul didn't seem like he was too gassed out. They're in the 6th round now too, and he seems kind of fine. But I do like that he is throwing them. Hopefully when he does fight Austin, he'll be throwing those more to tire out Austin.
Zachary Young scores the contest 56-55. He has it for Logan Paul.
Okay, so we don't need to see the end of that right there. We know who won. It was KSI. But I'm going to be completely honest with you. It does seem like Logan Paul completely outboxed KSI. And simply just because he hit him while he was down is why KSI won. Like I said, I'm not trying to rip on KSI. It's just that fight was not too impressive and his form seemed pretty bad. But then let's go ahead and check out Austin Mcbroom's fight so we can see how he did. And I'll give you who I think is going to win this fight.
Oh, a big straight left hand.
Super solid left jab from Austin Mcbroom. It does kind of seem like he's putting his arms down as well, so it isn't too good either. So I guess they both have that going for each other.
You know you can do it.
Paige, what did you see here in the second round?
The power shots, right? Mcbroom's coming with tons of punches. He has way more power, and he's utilizing his weight, right? He's putting his weight behind every punch.
Now, that did seem a little bit sloppy, but I do like that Austin Mcbroom is pretty snappy with all his jabs and punches. I also do like that whenever Bryce Hall throws a punch, Austin Mcbroom responds with at least a jab or something to defend himself. In the very beginning of that footage as well, you do see him kind of throw that fake left, and it goes over with his right, I think it was, or vice versa, one of the two. I don't think KSI basically did any of that throughout the entire Logan Paul fight, so it kind of shows that Austin Mcbroom does have a little bit more technique behind his fight.
Now, a problem there, right? Little mistake on Mcbroom's part, just because
The exact opposite.
teeing off.
Mcbroom!
For the kill right now.
Bryce.
There it is. There it is.
Again.
Oh my God. That's
Oh, they're calling it. It's over.
Is it?
It's over.
Now, I did notice that Austin Mcbroom did get caught pretty well right there by Bryce Hall, and he did seem to eat that like it was no problem. So that does make me feel a little bit better that Austin Mcbroom isn't completely trash, because you saw that KSI took a whole bunch of punches and even dropped one time when fighting Logan Paul. Austin Mcbroom did get caught pretty well right there, and he didn't go down. He seemed pretty well, so that is a thumbs up right there. I love that right there. You see the combination by Austin Mcbroom. KSI didn't do that one time throughout his entire fight versus Logan Paul. That's overall just a really good look right there for Austin Mcbroom. That's it right there. We also know that Austin Mcbroom obviously won that fight by TKO and not decision like KSI. And you guys are probably wondering who I think is going to win. I think that's pretty clear from this entire video. I think it's going to be Austin Mcbroom. Now, I also do want to point out that when Austin Mcbroom fought Bryce Hall, they were both at the same height, about 6 feet tall, and I think the same reach as well. Whereas Austin Mcbroom and KSI are both as well 6 feet tall, and I would assume their reach is probably about the same. So that's going to help out KSI, because I do know that it's going to be tougher to fight somebody taller than you like KSI did with Logan. I also do think that Logan was probably a tougher fighter than Bryce Hall was, but I do think that between KSI and Austin Mcbroom, I feel like this is going to be a pretty even fight, and I'm going to have to go and give it to Austin Mcbroom as of right now. Simply just because he is training right now, and KSI hasn't fought in over 2 years now. And from looking at the footage between KSI and Logan, KSI didn't seem to have any form at all. Nonetheless, I'm super excited for this fight. I don't see him as legitimate boxing fights. I see him more as just kind of entertainment. And because of that, it's made these fights so much more enjoyable, and I can't wait for this fight to happen. Thank you guys so much for 200 subscribers. It means a whole lot. Let's continue to run that number up. And until the next video, peace.